What if I told you? Perfection doesn't make you valuable. It makes you forgettable. You're praised for always doing things right. But slowly, they stop seeing you, they only see what you deliver. This is the hidden curse no one warns you about. And Carl Jung knew exactly why it happens. She always did everything right. Every detail was perfect, from the way she dressed to how she spoke, from her flawless reports at work to the carefully curated photos she posted online. People admired her. They said, "You're amazing. How can you be so perfect all the time?" She smiled, but deep down, she felt something they couldn't see. No matter how much she achieved, no matter how many compliments she received, there was a voice inside whispering, "It's not enough. You could have done better." That's the silent curse of perfectionism. It doesn't scream. It doesn't break you all at once. It quietly drains you, day by day, achievement by achievement. You chase an invisible finish line that keeps moving further away. And when people stop noticing your efforts, because they've come to expect perfection, you begin to wonder if you were ever truly seen at all. According to Carl Jung, this isn't just about high standards or ambition. It's a collapse of your inner self. A slow erasure of identity hidden beneath the mask of excellence. Because when you define your worth by flawless outcomes, you're not living, you're performing. And performances, no matter how brilliant, always end in exhaustion. In this video, we're diving into one of the most destructive psychological traps, the perfectionism trap. Why no matter how hard you try, you'll never feel good enough. And how reclaiming your imperfect, authentic self might be the most powerful thing you'll ever do. We live in a world obsessed with being the best. From school grades to social media likes, from career achievements to personal appearance, everything is measured, compared, judged. We're taught that perfection is the goal. That if we just work harder, polish every flaw, eliminate every mistake, then finally, we'll earn approval, love, success. But here's the dark truth. Perfection doesn't lead to fulfillment. It leads to invisibility. The more flawless you become, the more people stop seeing the person behind the performance. You become a standard, not a soul. A benchmark, not a being. And worst of all, you stop seeing yourself. Perfectionism isn't about being good. It's about fearing you're never good enough. Every time you double-check that email for typos, obsess over a minor detail no one else will notice, or replay a conversation in your head because you stumbled over a word that's not excellence. That's anxiety wearing a mask of discipline. Carl Jung warned us about this long before the age of social media filters and constant competition. He believed that when we pour all our energy into meeting external standards, we abandon our inner world. He called this psychic energy the invisible force that fuels our thoughts, emotions, creativity, and sense of self. And like any fuel, it's limited. Every time you strive for perfection, you spend that energy. Not to grow, but to survive. To avoid criticism. To avoid feeling unworthy. And when that energy runs out, you don't just feel tired, you feel empty. Lost. Like no matter what you do, it's never enough. This is why perfectionists often experience burnout. Not because they're weak, but because they've been bleeding energy into an impossible ideal. The tragedy is, society rewards this behavior. The student who pulls all-nighters to get straight A's. The employee who never says no, who stays late to perfect every project. The friend who always shows up, always polished, always reliable. At first, they're praised. But over time, their efforts become expected, unnoticed. And when they falter just once, they're judged more harshly than those who never tried as hard. Perfectionism is a trap where your best is never good enough, and your humanity becomes a liability. Jung believed that to escape this, we must face the shadow, the parts of ourselves we've rejected because they aren't perfect, the fear of failure, the discomfort with being average, the shame of not meeting impossible standards. These shadows grow stronger the more we deny them. The more we chase perfection, the more disconnected we become from who we really are. Think about it. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be imperfect? To submit work that was good enough, without obsessing? To show up as you are, without overthinking every word, every action? Perfectionists don't rest because rest feels like laziness. They don't celebrate because every achievement feels like a temporary fix. And they don't feel seen because they've hidden behind a flawless facade for so long. Even they've forgotten who's underneath. The paradox is this: the more you strive to be perfect, the less alive you feel. Perfection kills spontaneity. It suffocates creativity. It replaces connection with performance. You become so focused on being impressive that you forget how to be real. Jung's solution wasn't to lower your standards or stop caring. It was to reclaim your energy, to redirect it inward. Not towards polishing your image, but towards embracing your whole self, flaws included. Because true presence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from authenticity. The most magnetic people aren't those who never make mistakes. They're the ones who are comfortable with their imperfections, who carry a quiet confidence that says, "I am enough as I am." There's a story about Daniel, a man who lived his entire life chasing perfection. At work, he was the go-to guy, the one who fixed everyone's mistakes, who delivered flawless reports. In his personal life, he was always the planner, making sure every detail of every event was impeccable. People admired him, but they didn't really know him. One day, after yet another sleepless night perfecting a presentation, Daniel realized he felt nothing. No pride. No excitement. Just numbness. That's when he stumbled upon Jung's writings on individuation, the process of becoming whole, by integrating both light and shadow. Daniel began experimenting. He allowed himself to submit work at 90% instead of 110%. He said no to tasks he didn't have energy for. He showed up to a gathering without obsessing over his appearance. At first, it felt like failure, like he was letting people down. But then something unexpected happened. People didn't withdraw. In fact, some connected with him more deeply than ever before. Without the pressure to be perfect, Daniel's real personality emerged. He laughed more. He shared his opinions without rehearsing them in his head first. He felt human again. That's the hidden power of imperfection. It makes you visible. It makes you relatable. It allows you to connect, not as a polished product, but as a person. Jung taught that wholeness isn't about eliminating flaws. It's about embracing them as part of your humanity. Because when you stop fighting to be perfect, you free up energy to actually live. So, how do you begin this journey? It starts with awareness. Notice when perfectionism takes over, when you're spending too much time on something minor, when fear of judgment controls your actions, when you can't relax because you're replaying mistakes in your mind. Then, practice letting go. Deliberately choose good enough over perfect. Allow yourself to make small mistakes and resist the urge to fix them. Set boundaries with yourself. No more rewriting that email 5 times. No more overcommitting to prove your worth. Remember, perfection is not love. It's not respect. It's fear. True self-respect comes from knowing that you are worthy, not because you're flawless, but because you exist. In a world obsessed with appearances and achievements, choosing authenticity is revolutionary. The people who truly value you won't care if you stumble over your words or forget a minor detail. They'll appreciate the real you, the one who laughs at imperfections, who knows that life is too short to waste chasing an illusion. Carl Jung didn't teach us how to be admired. He taught us how to be whole. And when you are whole, you stop needing to prove yourself. Your presence, your honesty, your imperfect humanity becomes your strength. So, the next time you feel that familiar pull, the urge to perfect, to fix, to prove, pause. Ask yourself, who am I doing this for? If the answer is fear, choose differently. Choose to show up, not as a flawless version of yourself, but as the real, messy, vibrant human you are. Because perfection might impress people for a moment, but authenticity will connect you to them for a lifetime. And in that connection, you'll find something perfection can never offer: peace.